when I did my knifing, those points are not in the same place on both sides. They are not symmetrical. And one of the reasons they're not, that's one of the reasons I like to use edge cut. Because if I select an edge and I tell it to divide by 3, it's perfectly in 3s, or perfectly in 4s, or perfectly in 6s. I didn't do that this time. You understand what I mean? Let me be really obvious with it. Let me show you a case where it's really not symmetrical at all. We'll do one way over here. Oops, sorry. We'll do a knife way over here, right? And we'll do one right here, right? And then my goal is so I can choose this, and I can move them back. Oh, sorry about that. Got to get a little closer to it. I'm grabbing the red. Now that is clearly out of whack. Now it might be a cool chair. There's no question about it. In fact, I may want to actually go through here and choose this stuff right over here. And I'm doing an Alice in Wonderland kind of thing. You know, that's a new movie that's coming out. I might want to do that. I might want to make a completely asymmetrical chair. At which point, it's fine. Courtney, you don't like that chair. I can see that now. But let's go back, and now let's work on getting these things perfectly symmetrical, okay? Using the knife tool, it is not impossible to do this. But a couple of things have to be true. First off, the first thing that has to be true is that the object itself must be in the center of the world, right? And we can check this right here under position. The axis is in the center of the object. So let's go ahead and say 0, 0, 0. Now we haven't used this coordinates very much, but it's a very handy thing to use, all right? Now, this is where it really comes in handy. If I had a knife instead of edge cut, which there are occasions where I would do such a thing, I would choose knife, and I would do it however I liked, get it as close as I wanted, etc. And now I can go in there with these buttons right here, and I can select all the points that I want to move, and I can note where they are. Now, the point is I'm going to move this back and forth along this axis. And it turns out that as I move it, what's moving is the z-axis. Let's watch it again. I can move it all along the z-axis. So what I want is I want it about there, and I want the other one in about the same place. Let's say negative 35. In other words, I can input just that axis into the coordinates. So I did negative 35 because it's on the negative side of the green axis. You see the big green axis there? Now let's choose the other one. And what we're going to do is in the z-axis, we're going to input 35 again. And now, first thing, I made sure my chair was in the middle of the world. And then the next thing I did was make sure that the one was negative 35 and the other one was positive 35. And then I can go in, as I did before, select the whole thing, go to my perspective view, and pull it back so that I can make the kind of chair that I'm interested to make. Give it a little backward curve or whatever have you. All right? So that's kind of nice. That gives you a lot of options. All right, that's weld and knife. We also deleted some polygons and reconstructed them. Right? We used closed polygon hole and did some other things. And now let me show you, once we've rendered our, I'm sorry,